Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love college football as much as I do. Okay, I've come to the conclusion that both Alabama and Georgia will be in the top 5. Top 6 at worst for Alabama. Because I think Washington's going to lose. All right? Excuse me. Therefore, I think Texas is going to lose somewhere between now and the conference championship, too. So that'll help Alabama. I don't see Alabama losing to us, and I don't see them losing to Chattanooga. So those are the only 2 games left before they play Georgia. I got to go with Alabama in this one. There's several reasons for that, and I'm going to get into the statistics and all that, but let me talk about history. Nick Saban versus Kirby Smart. Who's usually won? Nick Saban. He's beaten Kirby 80% of the time they've played. They've played 5 times. They've competed 5 times. 2017, 18, 2020, the SEC championship 2 years ago. He has whooped Kirby Smart each time. And in the last time they played, Georgia did win the national championship. That's the big game that matters the most. And since then, Georgia has not looked back. They have been dominant. They have been on a tear. They've done everything. And history says Nick Saban, Alabama, usually whoops Kirby Smart because he has their number. And you look back at last year's championship game, which obviously Alabama wasn't even eligible for in the playoffs because they lost twice. David Pollock told Nick Saban to his face that Georgia has the best football program right now. And Nick Saban's petty. And that team is petty. So Nick Saban probably is saying to himself and his team, guys, if we don't win a national championship this year, if we don't get to do anything, the last thing I want to do is beat Georgia down. And he's not going to beat them down. They're an elite team. But Alabama's an elite team. I think Bama gets this win. Now let's get into the statistics. Georgia's offense looked great against Ole Miss. Alabama played Ole Miss in week 4. Their offense has come along so much since then. That defense is also very dominant. So what do you think they would do to Ole Miss too? Exactly. So here's the thing. I think Jalen Milroe, here's the thing. I know he still turns the ball over, but he has come along so much. And that offense as a whole has come along so much. And Alabama's defense is dominant. They stop people on 4th down. They held the #1 offense in the country, LSU, to less than 30 points. If they can do that to LSU's offense, imagine what they can do to Georgia's offense. And here's the big difference. Carson Beck, he's great, yeah. But Jaden Daniels is a Heisman contender. And he torched Alabama's defense for the most part. Carson Beck's a freshman. Alabama's going to get to him. They're going to pressure him. I don't care how great that offensive line is. Because guess what? Bama's defense is a sack machine. They get a lot of sacks. They really do. And I think they're going to... And Atlanta is Alabama's house, by the way. It's not Georgia's, just because it's in the state of Georgia. Alabama has whipped Georgia 3 times out of the last 5 times they've played. National championship in 17 and 2 SEC championship games in that stadium. And they're going to do it again. I think Alabama takes care of the football. They might have 1 turnover because Milroe's not perfect. But they might have 1 turnover, if none. And I think they win the turnover battle. Carson Beck has been known to throw picks throughout the year. Now, lately he's played better, but he's still a freshman. I think he's going to throw a few picks or fumble the football against that Bama defense. And here's the thing. Alabama's offense has gotten better. I think they'll be well-coached, well-prepared, better than Alabama will be with Smart. And here's the problem that I have with Georgia's offense. You know who struggles to score in the red zone a lot with touchdowns? Georgia. You know whose red zone defense is really good? Alabama. So, I think Bama wins the turnover battle. I think their defense dominates the line of scrimmage and wins the game. Not dominate, but they'll be able to keep Georgia's offense in check. And I think the turnovers that Georgia will have that I see against Bama's defense, because Bama's defense is the best defense Georgia has played all year. It'll be the best. Auburn the second best. And Auburn was able to hold them to 27 points. And Auburn does not have the talent, I'm admitting this, that Alabama does. And you can make up excuses about Georgia having injuries and all that. It's still, you're a more talented team than Auburn. So, give me Alabama 35-31. They barely win this game. I think Alabama's offense not being great. I think Milroe does turn the ball over. Alabama has had a field goal kicking problem. I think that'll be why the score is closer to what it should be.